Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode number 18 of the Amber Army YouTube Newport County Russian Takeover series from the Football Manager 2017, and as you can see we're stuck dead right there in mid-table. I wonder if Wayne Rooney is still the manager. No, he's not. Let's have a little look at this. Wayne Rooney got sacked on the 26th, so it must have been the Boxing Day game that got him the sack. And Danny Craig is now manager of Newport County. He's only been an under-18s coach at Burnley and West Brom. They're paying him £3.5k a week to take over the managerial position. I really don't know that if the Russians really know what they're doing when it comes to appointing their managers, because they've made some very poor appointments. Managerial appointments is one of the things that's going to be a factor in whether you're successful or not. Well, has this new manager brought any players in? Yes, he has, is the answer to that. He's brought 5 players in. And a lone player as well, and him as well. So 6 players. No, 7 players in total. And the only thing is, though, they've sold many players here as well. Jermaine Anderson, who's the captain of the club, is gone. They've made 11 million and only spent 3.8 for a team with a bit of money, wanting to get back into the Championship, to push for the Premier League. That's completely not the way to go. Let's have a little look at some of these players. I mean, a goalkeeper from Man City on loan. Looks a decent capture, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look, I'm sure he's played 3 and has done particularly well, which could bear well in the future. But we need to get promoted now. So Borja Fernandez signed from Newcastle for a reasonable fee. David Davis, 33 years of age. Bit of experience to push them up, maybe. I know he's got Championship experience. Niall Keown, 29 years old, defensive fullback. A bit of a drab signing by the looks of it. Pietro Iamello, 32 years old Italian striker. Maybe they're scraping the barrel somewhat. I mean, Jake Bidwell. I mean, they're going for some fogies, really, aren't they? Scraping the barrel, really, to try and push themselves forward. I mean, stuck in League One, only one division advanced in 7 seasons. This is season 8, obviously. Actually, no, in 8 seasons, because this is season 9. Next season will be season 10. So after 8 seasons, you've only gone up 1 division with an initial cash injection of 80 million plus whatever else they've thrown in along the way. Oh, it's been a disappointment in truth, to be honest with you. Really felt they were going places when they got promoted to the Championship. They get relegated and they'd be stuck in mid-table. It's a bit of a gutter, really, isn't it? Courtney Hawes is the only plus side at the moment. Even though he's 29 years of age, he's still one of the better players in the division at the moment. We'll go into detail on this. So, attacking goals. Well, Mark Jobling is 6th in the scoring charts. Assists. Will Randall is 4th in the assists chart. So look at it. County have got some good players, or some players topping some of these charts, which is nice to see, to be honest with you. But in all, the team isn't really doing an awful lot. Now, if we look at this Newport County team now, so Ray Koppel, on loan from Man City, has obviously gone straight into it. A 7.83 rating after 3 games. Let's have a look at the run of form that would have got Wayne Rooney the sack, and as you can see there, back in the Checker Trade Trophy, maybe a little bit of silverware on the horizon. FA Cup second round they've gone through, so they're in the 3rd round. Well, they were in the 3rd round, they got knocked out by Preston. Still in the Checker Trade Trophy, mind you, but lost in the 6th quarter final. So the run of games, the thing is, it's not even a particularly poor run of games if you look at it, because where we left it at the end of November, actually come to think of it, yeah, his job was insecure there. He needed to pull up the table a little bit. I think a lot of these wins are Checker Trade Trophy wins and FA Cup first round. When it comes to Sky Bet League One, there's not as many green dots next to the Sky Bet League One as there is the red dots if you're looking at it. This is the point where Wayne Rooney lost his job. He must have lost to Wickham and they thought, no, gone. They put someone in charge on a caretaker basis who lost a bunch of games. And when is it? So Danny Craig came in on the 8th of the 1st, so that would have been Danny Craig's first game. So Danny Craig came into it and hit the ground running. So this here, he's actually won all 4 League One games he's played. Can history repeat itself? Because if I can remember right, County were in a very similar position to this, thinking they could push for a playoff place with a new manager. But they ended up sneaking into second. They're 10 points away with 16 games left. It's a tall order, but you never know. I'm quite eager to see this season 8, so I'm going to take you guys there, and we'll see if the season's dead after our initial 10 season target of getting into the Premier League. If we don't do it now, if we don't get promoted now, it's dead. If we get promoted, it's still alive. I'm just so anxious to know where we're going to stand on this. So, guys, I will take you there now. Okay, everybody, the season has now ended, and it's the 31st of May. County didn't win the playoffs. This is a very similar situation. Mark Jobling became the top scorer of League One. Did he fire County into second place? Let's see. No. He fired Newport County into the playoffs, and they lost in the playoffs. So, not quite the same this time. Newport County lost in the playoffs to Bury, who then themselves went on to lose to Bolton in the final. Gutted, guys. This is not the end of the series. We got 2 more episodes. We may as well see what kind of season County have. Although, as much as I think about it, I feel as though maybe it'd be a pointless endeavour just to see one more season. I don't see the point personally. I think it's probably best to focus my attentions on what I'm going to do on the upcoming Football Manager 2018 game that's going to come out. I mean, look at this. They fell. Well, let's have a little look at Newport County's history. So look at an overview. No. Competitions. No. Looking for more, but let's just say landmarks. So from the beginning, from 2016, Pipey was named as vice captain. Fair enough. Youth category, obviously they put it straight into youth. I mean, obviously remember, Aaron Cool was a good player. Josh Labardi was removed as captain, appointed as vice captain. Joe Day was captain. Club failed League 2 financial fair play regulations, but then later got promoted from League 2 to League 1. They failed the League 1 financial fair play regulations, but then youth category went up, training facilities went up, won the Checker Trade Trophy. That was back in that season where I forgot to tell you guys how what happened. I mean, another thing as well, for silly Mnuchin scales down funding, so the Russians are starting to get fed up of putting their money in as well. So I think this is a good time to call the end of the actual full series now, guys, to be honest with you. See, obviously I was going to do 10 seasons, still in League 1. So the only thing County really won was a Checker Trade Trophy, and obviously got promoted twice, got relegated from the Championship to, season before last, and the Russians have decided that they're going to scale down their funding. So Newport County finances are secure. Looking at it in general, estimated, well, see what I mean? The money's all the way down to 9 million. So if anything, we're going to watch them struggle for the last season, I think. It's a bit of a sorry situation. The Russians got fed up with putting the money in because it's just going nowhere. Partly themselves to blame because of the poor managerial choices. I mean, Danny Craig obviously turned things round, so it's a shame they didn't get him in a lot sooner, to be honest. But there we go. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy thing. Obviously, it took a long time to get out of League 2. If you remember, it took a long time to... Well, it didn't take a long time to get out of League 1. It was 2 seasons to get out of League 1, sliming our way into second place right at the very end, the way we did. And then the Championship, it all just fell apart. Then they had the money to build the team up in the right way. They had the wrong manager. They played the wrong tactics too often. I mean, this guy's tactics was also a 4-4-2, but he obviously did it better than what Rooney did. Wayne Rooney was Newport County manager for a short spell. that's probably possibly the most interesting thing that's happened in this series. Personally, is Wayne Rooney was Newport County manager for like 5 minutes. Like I say, but all in all, though, guys, I've still enjoyed doing this. I mean, it's been a bit of fun, interesting to see, because this is possibly the most accurate and on the ball sort of simulation out there, to see what kind of difference money makes. Now, obviously, money gives you an advantage. It doesn't guarantee success. It's obvious, it's a shame that's how the game is now. Money brings an advantage. If someone's got more money, I mean, there's more money available to certain teams. I mean, obviously, they're bringing financial fair play rules in, but it's still... it's still not tamper-proof, basically. But it's nice to see, considering in 2003, 2004, where Newport County have gone. Obviously, we're in League 2 at the moment, and we managed to get them up to the Championship. And they fell, obviously, back down into League 1. But they had 80 million to start with. I just don't get... Obviously, I think keeping Flinney could have been one, but if he'd have spent a bit more money and got himself a better team. But remember, season 1 they nearly went up. They finished in... Where are we now? In season 1, they finished in the playoffs. And then 18th, 15th, and then 4th, and went up through the playoffs. League 1, there's the point. Can we actually click on that and look at it? No. Oh, well. But 20th, we thought 20th, saved ourselves, let's build on it now. Bang, 22nd, fell right out of it. Well, there we go then, guys. I mean, it's been interesting to watch how it all unfolds, but it's been a shame that it's not been as successful as we hoped it would be. I thought 10 years, I think I was being easy on us. I thought it was going to be easy to get the Premier League in 10 years. I was going to say, technically, with that kind of money, it should be 5. Which goes to show, as I said, again and again, money doesn't bring success. Well, I want to thank you all for watching this series. Football Manager 2018 is around the corner. I will be buying it so I can have the beta version, or the beta test version, and I will be looking to bring something. Obviously, when the main game comes out, I get a feel for the game, learn how to work my way around it. When the main game comes out, I'll have access to the editor then, and then I can create a scenario in which an interesting kind of experiment can take place. I mean, it's too time consuming to do an actual full series taking control of a team. We're better off going through it as we are now. That way I can guarantee regular content of it. So I hope you guys look out for what I bring out for Football Manager 18. Not necessarily going to be a Newport County thing, not necessarily going to be a takeover, but I'm sure if you guys want to offer some ideas, I'm all ears for it, and maybe we'll go with the best idea that comes over. Anyway, calling time on it now. Thanks all for watching this series. I am going to call time on it now. There's no 10th season. We're going to, obviously, we failed. Newport County failed. The Russians failed. and everyone to do with the club failed in their attempts to get the Premier League. But it was still an interesting watch to see the progress, the ups and the downs. But recording time on it now, and that's going to be it. So until Football Manager 2018, it's cheerio for now. Thank you all very much again.